Hello and welcome back to another episode of The End Game, Insiders on Your Side, a podcast that's been developed for senior lab executives by senior lab executives. My name is Melissa Butterworth, and I am your proud host of the End Game podcast. I am so excited about our guest today. Her name is Olivia Huff, and she and I have known each other going all the way back to when she was just a little child, and she has actually been working with Advanced Strategic Partners for the last 2 years. And we have an incredible topic, something that I am very passionate about because as a business owner, it's something that I have never really gotten into until the last 2 years. So today's topic is going to be all about marketing and branding and how by implementing both of those, your company can propel its growth, skyrocket its growth, and really take the company to the next level. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Olivia Huff. Hi, Olivia. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I am so excited, and I'm probably most excited about this because I personally, because of you, have really grown and learned a lot about social media, about branding, about marketing, and why it's so important. And I'd love for you to share, Olivia, a little bit about your background and exactly what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I started my own branding and marketing company about literally 2 years ago. Melissa was my very first client. And so with that, I do branding with logo design, website design, um, content creation with through social media, and then I also will do things like flyers, brochures, ads, and just anything that helps level up your business through branding and marketing.
Yeah, you've done a great job with us. I know a lot of laboratory owners and a lot of executives that are probably tuning in today can relate with this. I mean, everything that I grew up with, we didn't have social media and it was really old school. And I
Mhm.
think that because your generation, Olivia, you all are so good with social media and branding and marketing. I mean, you've really implemented so many incredible things that have really helped our business. So I'm just so appreciative of that. Can you explain a little bit about the difference between what branding is and what marketing
Mhm.
is?
Yeah, sure. So I feel like it's a super elementary terms what I'm going into, but I feel like it's just like to understand it, you kind of have to go in that simplistic term. So branding is really how people perceive you. So it's your personality and it's your reputation. And that includes like, the logo design, the colors, the typography, your mission statement, your values. And then marketing is how you share your brand with the world. And so they kind of go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other, So, good branding, gives marketing a direction, and then good marketing amplifies your brand. So you really want to have that solid foundation of that branding in order to take the marketing and grow with that to see real growth.
Yeah, no, I really didn't know the difference. Like I took a lot of classes in school about
Mm-hmm.
marketing, but we really didn't have a lot of classes about branding. And so I think it's really, really important to understand the differentiation. I also think an important element is really looking at consistency, right? And,
Yes.
maybe you could talk
Mm-hmm.
a little bit about consistency in the branding specific to like visuals and any other kind of like tips that you want to share with our audience?
Yeah. So, as you've mentioned before, like if you're having heart problems, you don't go to a generalist, you go to a cardiologist. And so that's the same thing with the branding and marketing. You want to be the expert in that field. And so you want to have that strong foundation of branding um, and marketing so that the consumers, clients can really trust you and you have those relationships with them. And so 50% of consumers are likely to buy from a brand that they recognize, and 75% of them, recognize a brand from their logo. And so I think that's something that's super important to have that solid foundation so that people are more likely to use you, and you want to stay consistent in your marketing so that people see your brand values, what your mission statement is, what you guys are really about.
Yeah, you've done a great job with that with our organization, Olivia. And I know that you've also done that for a number of laboratories out in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's out there that's listening to this and you really think you could benefit, you can feel free to reach out to me at Advanced Strategic Partners, or Olivia will give you the information a little later on in our podcast. But you've done a really great job. Another thing that you've taught me personally is that it's really crucial to invest in your branding for long-term customer loyalty. I mean, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so, before stated, like having a strong brand and marketing really builds relationships with your clients, and if you do it the right way. So, with the correct branding and marketing, you have more control of how your audience perceives you. This allows you to, once your audience can talk to their friends, their colleagues, anybody else, and that just kind of continues to build that trust and credibility. There's a survey done by Gardner that said that businesses spend around 10 to 13% of their annual revenue on marketing. And within the healthcare sector, they spend around 6 to 8% for marketing. So it's really crucial to invest that time so that you can position your business to have repeat clients and creating that long-term loyalty. So with investing, you can either do in-house marketing or you can do outsourcing marketing, that's what I do in my business. I'm contracted out by these other laboratories, healthcare companies, and that can sometimes be the most cost effective because you don't have that overhead. You can run your business, while I'm doing the heavy lifting of doing the website designs, looking at where the customers or clients are likely to go, helping to build your brand and your marketing assets as well. And this just ensures that your company is staying on the right track of the brand values and keeping that consistency and intentionality within your brand.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's an excellent point, Olivia, because it's an area, like I had mentioned to our viewers, that we really, as an organization, never focused on. And I love the fact that you offer services from an outsourced perspective. And I know that a lot of the lab owners have enjoyed your services and benefited from your services and also enjoy that. It's, for me, from a benefits perspective, versus having another employee and paying benefits and doing all of
Mm-hmm.
those things that I would typically have to do with an employee. It's a great relationship because it allows our organization to get the consistency that you're able to provide and the incredible services that you're able to provide. But it also is great because it allows me as a business owner to continue focusing on my business, right? And that's pretty much the point that you were just making. But I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Yeah. I think the other thing that I would love you to be able to explain is, why is it important to position your brand to be able to convey value to potential customers?
So you don't just want customers who recognize your brand once and use your business once. You really want returning loyal clients. And so with good branding, you really want to come across having that human side relating to your clients. And it's not just strictly all business. And you really want to appeal to people's emotions through good branding and marketing and make them feel more connected to your company. It allows you to build connections with your audience and eventually turn them to the loyal customers that you want.
So, Olivia, what are some of the strategies? Maybe you can give the audience a handful of tips and strategies about how they can amplify their brand through targeted marketing, so that they can implement it into their own business. I know you have a couple of tips, and you're not going to share all of them because the podcast would be too long. But maybe you can share a couple of tips with our audience today.
Branding and marketing really lies in intentionality. You really want to be intentional when it comes to that sort of thing. So in order to make the most out of your budget, whatever you have, I have some little steps that you can take that's just going to help you amplify your brand. So number one is knowing your business values and measurable goals. This is your foundation. This is what really drives your business. Number two is define your target audience. This is the most important. You want to know who your business is trying to attract. You can even segment it into little, different audience sectors. So for you, Melissa, you have hospital-based labs. You also have clinical molecular. So you want to target these different groups because you don't want to just send out one message for everybody. You want it to make it relatable. And number 3 is create the consistent messaging and branding. Again, consistency is key. You want to have your message be clear so that your audience knows what your business is about. And number 4 is selecting marketing tactics and marketing channels. And this one is very important as well because you want to figure out where your audience is using, what platform they're using the most. You don't want to waste your time by posting on Instagram when a majority of your clientele are on LinkedIn. So you really want to figure out which is which, and having that intention is super important. And then lastly is, measure and analyze those results. And I think I keep saying they're all important, which they all are important, but this last one's super important because this one could be a waste of time if you don't do it the right way. If you're not actually analyzing your results and figuring out, like, is this a good return on investment? Or is this a waste of time? Oh, that ad didn't work, that advertisement or that campaign. So we need to pivot to this way. Where is our audience going? That's super important. So I think it's really about staying intentional and staying consistent for that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, you have taught me so much, Olivia. You really have in these 2 years. And I think about where we were versus where we are now and the consistency that you have helped put in place in the market for us, more specifically in the LinkedIn area, which is where a lot of our clientele is, right, as lab
Yeah.
owners and hospital executives. And, by coming to the War College and helping with our branding and marketing there and just all around with our podcast and our materials and our books. I mean, you've just really done an incredible job. And I cannot speak highly enough about you and the services that you've provided to our organization. I also know that you've seen a lot of trends, right? You've seen a lot of trends in regards to marketing and in regards to branding. Maybe you can speak to some of those trends for our audience.
Yeah. So I feel like every time, you do the podcast, you ask about the trends, it's the same answer. It's always AI because it's so prevalent nowadays. Like it's just everybody is using it right now. And I think that's, with branding marketing, you have to stay on top of those trends. And so right now everybody is using the AI, the chat GPT stuff to help elevate their branding and marketing. I mean, I think it's a great and useful tool to be effective, and it's even cost effective sometimes because you can do posts on it, you can have blogs, it's amazing the sort of thing that you can do with it. But I will say that you need to have a balance because, again, you want to have that human touch. People are craving real connections. And so you really want to make sure that you balance that out and are not overusing it while using it to benefit your marketing.
Yeah, no, I think that's really, really great points. One of the things that I wanted to share with our audience is that another thing that we didn't hit on today that you've helped with is Olivia actually came in, put together an entire marketing plan for our organization that we've been implementing quarterly and sending out things of value to our customers. What are the market trends? What are the recent multiples in the market? What are the recent transactions in the market? One quarter, we sent out a copy of The End Game for Lab Owners, and that is a book that is on Amazon. We are just about to publish a new book for hospital executives called The End Game for Hospital Executives. So Olivia has been compiling all of this information, all of these materials, putting together a really good, concise marketing plan to be able to deliver actual value to our clients. And that is something as an organization that if you're not doing, you really should consider implementing that. Now, I know we've talked about a lot of different things today, Olivia, and you've shared with us a lot about marketing, a lot about branding. What are some key takeaways from today's message that you want to leave our clients with?
For me, I think any business really needs to focus on good branding and marketing. As Melissa, you talked about, like before you were just like, I just want to get up and run my business. I'm a salesperson. I'm going to go out and find those clients. I don't care what it looks like. and it's worked well for you. In some instances, it really doesn't for most businesses. If you don't have that foundation or direction and focus on that branding and marketing, it won't work. And so, when I came in, I really help implement that branding. And I think that's super important to have that foundation in order to just succeed in your business. And I think, branding and marketing are not separate. They go hand in hand, and it really helps establish that trust and builds that recognition and drives, more clients to your company. I think that's super important. I think it just all lies in consistency and intentionality.
Yeah, you talk about being able to track that success, and I have to kind of brag on you. So I know you've been with us for 2 years. I've had a number of people, and more recently had a very large lab contact our organization, and they mentioned that they don't really know how, but a copy of my book and some marketing materials are on their desk, and they want to meet with us. And this is a really,
Mhm.
really big organization, and so we really have started seeing some of the stuff that you're doing pay off. And I just cannot speak highly enough about you and your company and your services. Now, Olivia, if people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah, so you can email me. It's live@oliveandbirdie.com, or you can visit my website, oliveandbirdie.creative.com. Or you can email Melissa and she will relay the message to me, but that's the best way to contact me.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time today. And for those viewers who are just tuning in, or if you would like to listen to this podcast again, we do host all of the podcasts at www.advancedstrategicpartnerswithan.com. Or you can always go to Spotify and or Apple, and we are now posting them on YouTube, thanks to Olivia. We greatly appreciate you tuning in today. I am so excited about this episode, and I hope that you have found as much value in this as our organization has. So without further ado, I'm going to tune out, and I look forward to speaking to you all in 2 weeks on our next episode of The End Game.